Mark Lidbetter here with a special edition of Judgement Calls, as I'm joined by Montreal Alouettes General Manager Danny Maciocia, who, along with his team, is getting ready for the draft that's upcoming, and it's going to be a busy time. So, Danny, I really appreciate you taking the time to be here and talk about what's upcoming.
Appreciate it. Nice to be on.
Well, listen, you've been busier than a rookie at a two-days with your signings and 4 picks in the global draft, and now getting ready for the second pandemic draft for you guys. Uh, does it seem like time has just flown by doing all this prep work?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, here we are. I mean, I'm part of a third draft since I've gotten the job here, the CFL draft, and we had the global draft on April 15th, a few weeks back. And now we're entering a third draft and we haven't taken the field yet. So, I mean, the time has flown by, but at the same time, Mark, as much as we're excited about some of the players that we've landed or we're in the process of landing here in about a week's time, you know what they say, the proof is in the pudding. So we want to take the field and have these kids showcase their talents and introduce them to our fan base. So hopefully that'll be the case soon.
Yeah. Now, also, this is the second pandemic draft in the sense it's going to be virtual. Have you been able to use what you learned last year, or is there some subtle differences in this one going around, say, looking at the class of 21 for the players coming here?
Well, for the kids that are coming out of U Sports, we're using the same procedure, same concepts that we used in last year's CFL draft. In other words, we're referencing 2018 and 2019 film. The good news is that I'm just, a year removed from U Sports. So a lot of these kids that are draft eligible, either I've coached them, either I've recruited them and they've played elsewhere, either they're playing in the OUA in Ontario, so I know them by reputation. So I've got a pretty good feel, a pretty good understanding of what they're able to bring to the table. But as far as, interviews are concerned, everything is done virtually. Nothing's changed from the previous draft. And I've gotten quite comfortable with it. Clearly, there's nothing better than seeing them in person and speaking to them, face to face and watching them work out before you. But this is the reality that we're dealing with right now. It's no different than any other team. And we're trying to make the best of the situation.
And I would imagine there's still a good crop of players out there to be had from the different areas that they're drafted from.
Yeah, I would say so. I liked last year's crop. This year's crop is okay. There's a lot of kids that have deferred, that have chosen to go back to school for another year. So they're going to be draft eligible in the 2022 class. But there's still enough good players to pick from.
Now, you have the first pick of the second round, 10th overall. So I would imagine watching what unfolds beforehand, you must have like a deck of cards of scenarios to how you're going to proceed with that pick, I would imagine.
That's exactly right, Mark. We're going to have to sit tight and see how they fall off the board here. And then when 10 rolls around, we'll see what's up there and who we're interested in securing in that 10th slot. Now, there's a lot of stuff that goes on between now and then. I'm sure there's going to be phone calls back and forth as far as moving up, moving back. That just comes with any draft that you're a part of. So we'll see how things unfold here over the next few days. But will there be movement? I don't know. Potentially there could be. But we'll have a better feel for it probably here in the next few days.
I don't think the fans realize exactly what a chess match it does become leading right up and into the time of the draft while it's even ongoing for you guys. You must enjoy that, though. The adrenaline must really go, especially on draft day.
Oh, absolutely. And, on draft day, that's when the phone starts ringing. That's when you start getting a text or two. And, you're probably got 5 or 10 minutes to react, whether you're going to pull the trigger or not, or maybe counter, with another offer to try to secure, a better position or so you can select a player of choice. There's a, put it this way, at the end of the night, you're exhausted. I mean, you're just exhausted, and you're not going to struggle getting a good night's sleep when May 4th rolls around 11:30 or midnight.
Hey, that's Star Wars Day. We're going to just have to say, may the fourth be with you for the draft.
You got it. You got it. Absolutely.
But that being said, the good news is games are going to go on starting in August. That means you guys must be looking at organizing camp. You're going to have such a crop of players coming out to that camp. It's got to be really exciting that there's going to be a lot of hard-fought battles for positions on the roster, I would imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're looking at 2 draft classes. You're looking at those free agency signings that we had last February. You know, I mean, we've really addressed our front 7 with our D line and our linebacking core. We're excited about our Canadian content. You know, we're excited about having a Stanback back in our backfield as our featured back. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of interesting, you know, scenarios that are going to come up throughout the course of training camp. There's going to be some battles that are going to be intriguing that we're going to watch closely. But at the end of the day, hopefully, when all is said and done, after 3 weeks of training camp, we're going to walk away and feel good about the fact that we're going to have a competitive team on our hands.
Excellent, excellent. Well, listen, I wish you the best of luck at the draft, that what you want is there, because as you say, you never know what's going to happen. Somebody changes their mind, somebody moves up, but I know you guys have done your homework and you've got a good staff working with you to make sure of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm fortunate to have a great staff here, whether it's the guys here in Montreal or even south of the border. And collectively, you know, we're banging away at this. We're challenging ourselves and all these possible scenarios that could come up. And we want to make sure that we're ready to face them as we enter the draft on May 4th.
Well, I want to thank you for taking the time out. I know you got to get going. I know you've got a lot on your plate. But until next time, this is Mark Lidbetter, sports editor of The Suburban. You know where to find me, sports@thesuburban.com. Any suggestions, any questions? My judgment call on this one, there's a lot of players hoping they get caught in the draft, and they couldn't end up with a better organization than the Alouettes. So until next time, everybody think positive. We're going to be watching some CFL football come August with a very competitive Alouettes team. Take care, everybody.